In a school where all students are animals, all humans must navigate the twists and turns of school life in an alternate world of humanoid animals. The human population has drastically declined. Classes are starting at the Senton Academy. It sounds weird to say, and all the animals gather in the main courtyard for the class start ceremony. However, among the students, the one who stands out the most is Jean Massima, an ordinary human being, and probably the only human in the entire animal school. While they wait for the courtyard, it is literally a jungle, and one of the students hits Jean with a pineapple. Angry Jinga accidentally hitting starts Okami. A short and very bad-tempered wolf starts attacks Ginger, accidentally hits the fish tank where the principal, Andied an anomalous that I don't know what that is, but good according to Google, is a kind of prehistoric crustacean that is welcoming, breaking the fish tank and spreading water and the principal everywhere. Despite having human characteristics, the students are not able to control their wild instincts, so they are quite prone to violence and bullying, especially between species. So it is necessary to be part of a pack to have a somewhat tolerable experience. Jim, who hates animals, does not enjoy school at all, and wishes they would all disappear during lunch, gets on the bad side of the cook when he asks that he cooks the meat for him, and he only finds it in a free place in front of nothing more and nothing less than Ranka, who recognizes him and threatens to attack him again. Jean, who does not want problems, feeds him meat, and the young woman invites him to join her on her way, clarifying that she is not a dog but a wolf. Jean knows the few humans of Zendan, and is immediately attracted to her, sensing that she has an Aranka. Challenges Ajitomi by Jim, which causes her to run away, joining the Aranka pack, and points out that the other students normally they make friends with their own species. Aranka denies it, since once a human hit some bear cubs that were harassing her, proving that species as diverse as humans and wolves can be friends and part of the same pack. Is at night, Jane realizing that he was the one who tried to save Aranka, but unlike how the young woman remembers him, he was actually beaten up by the bears, which caused her hatred towards animals. Aranka gets upset when Jim forms a pack, although in reality he only invited her to creating a cooking club. Later, Jim watches as Anda is used as a servant by Mishima Kuro, a zebra girl. Jean defeats Cruel, revealing that goats are more like donkeys than horses, and reveals Kuro's donkey-like tail. Seeing that Aranka has not yet been accepted by any pack, since there are no other wolves, and the other companions are not interested in inviting them, and take Inviter Aranka join the cooking club. While they talk, the two are attacked by 3 bear children, who plan to eat Sagitami, because apparently in this school that moves, White tries to defend himself, allowing Egypton to escape before Jim upgrades with sprays, but he recovers by washing his eyes with water. The bears almost kill there, but they are guided by the Gigasudaran giant teacher, a T-Rex man, to thank him. Jenny Hitomi agrees to join the starter pack, only for her to agree, licking them both in the mouth like a wolf. Jiren announces that starter must pass a karakuri cooking test. A koala girl appears out of nowhere, and also asks to join, but thinks she once ate something else, but his mother tells him that it was for what he wants to be part of the culinary club to find that mysterious flavor. Jin, who does not want more people in a group, because although he tolerates it, he starts off super objective is to be alone with Kidomi, decides to give Kidomi a test. The girl who cooks a dish that she garnishes with eucalyptus for the group to enjoy. Annoyed Ginny invents a second test and allows her to boot cook a vile dish that Yukaira must eat to earn membership. The dish makes her realize that what else that he once ate was eucalyptus, directed to us from his mother's digestive system, part of the diet of a baby koala. Kuramine, a cat girl, uses a hypnotic purr to manipulate his entrance into the club. Though he is unaffected due to being a ras is more stronger than the powers of the cat. The group is taking shape, but the ingredients for the kitchen are still necessary, so Egypt takes away the idea of asking the garden club to keep you in their fruits and vegetables, since they are normally thrown away. Kurumi begins the garden club, a group of boars, to supply him with vegetables, and back in the club he tries to get everyone to leave the cooking club and create a sleeping club, but despite his purring the girls refuse, as they really want to be part of the cooking club kitchen. So the cat loses interest in the group. They remove me, start suggesting inviting Mayubi Jicho, a lazy girl, Professor Anato, a gigantic man-at, and I threaten them to be friends with Mayubi, since their slow movements require a lot of help, and when trying to move at a normal speed, but I see that it is that his body overheats, what could cause his death. Starts trying to help the girl to bathe, which forces Gina to save her, since sloths overheat easily. After an uncomfortable shower, My Rain thanked that he let her into the club gym who had planned to refuse lets them join out of guilt to let Kuro missions since he knows she really wants to be his friend based on her female compartment who seeks attention. In this way the cooking club is formed, but the interspecies friendships of the club draws the attention of the student council who decides that the cooking club must be created before it alters the ecosystem of the school. I say shut down in a public meeting with the rest of the students. The president of the student council Miki Hadana warns students to avoid unnatural, interspecies relationships. Miki arrives at her office, and is revealed to be a naked mole rat girl with an army of naked male mole rats who see clothing as unnatural, and are embarrassed to be seen clothed by members of the same species. One of the rats that, together with his research team, has been documenting the activities of the cooking club, shows Miki a video where they describe each of the members of the group, except for Een and Renka. The conclusion of Queen is trying to set up a multi-species area, and sends her army later. While at the cooking club, Jean is kidnapped by the Lion King's girl Aran Shino. The king admits he has fallen in love with Shino, an Impala girl, and asks advice from Jean on interspecies relationships, who found out that King has never spoken to Shishino, and suggests that he talk to her in person. Unfortunately, Shishino's prey instincts activate every time King approaches him, and he runs away when a group of lions sees him. Machos suddenly challenges the one who by her harem, revealing that they have taken, and threatens to devour her. Shows his dominance by defeating them all, and then confronts the leader of the enemy group, but instead of attacking him he surprises everyone by cutting his impressive black mane, which makes his S and lose interest in him. In this way Kinkas manages to confess his feelings to, but although she rejects him for not being serious, she is willing to be friends until she is ready. After watching the video with this story, she is manipulating the students to form pairs interspecies, so she decides to face him first. The office sights, but the young man ignores her, so she has no choice but to put on some clothes and go to the sun. For this song she stays. The way Mickey's rats confront Kurumi the cat, and sacrifice themselves for their queen so that Mickey can go to her meeting. Mickey arrives at the club room, and more relieved takes off his clothes, and in his underwear Jean orders him to disarm the cooking club. However, when it starts save the rats, everything can be eaten by Kurumi. Their actions will begin to tell me that there is nothing unnatural about being friends with another species. Mickey decides to leave but will continue to watch Jean closely. After King cut his hair, his throne becomes available, and the males of the school begin to fight among themselves. Arenka Farrell's gigantic older sister Farrell arrives at the accent, but is nervous to see Germanita. Farrell visits the cooking club, where after a happy reunion Aranka asks her to return to in his way. Aranka refuses, claiming that she is Jane's wife, so Farrell decides to make Jean a member of the pack until Aranka affirms that he hates Farrell, defeating him. Krillo temporarily breaks up with her to focus on the activities of the Farrell club hyena named Lena Marvera, but ignores her. Meanwhile, several lion boys find out that Gina defeated Farrell, and they decide to defeat them themselves. However, Elena defeats the lions, and they fight himself against Jean until he is a woman. Elena tells me the next day I decided to show him all his life he has suffered the stigma of looking like a woman, when in reality, since in this world, for some reason females have humanoid forms of sexy girls, but men do look like animals with clothes. The rats naked tell Mickey that Elena it is causing problems, and they show him a video in which Jean pulls down Elena's pants, which makes Kamiki faint from shock. However, since in reality Elena is trying to pull down her pants to show her manhood while Jean tries to stop her, Sin reveals that female hyenas have a false penis similar to that of males, which makes it very difficult to confuse them. So Diana realizes that it really is a female who is happy that she has formed her own, Maradona. Although he still hates Jean. Meanwhile, Lena tells her family that she has accepted being a female, and her family is happy that she finally realized it, and they give her a female uniform that she had saved, and even her brother gives her a haircut. Here Liana, overwhelmed by so much change, suddenly calls herself Maya again. The day of school camp is coming up, and Horse wants the cooking club to compete, but everyone except Mayubi refuses. Starter Mayubi start training while helping the naked mole rats build the sports field. However, the low energy of me and delays the work of the rats more than helping, but for some reason the rats see the will of the lazy girl as something positive that inspires them to strive. When seeing Miyuki's determination, they decide to compete. Cruel, now a friend of the donkeys, you challenge them, since one of the prizes of the competition is that their group of card game players get their own room, but I wanted, and in which they do not have enough members in the team to fight for what is left disqualified before they even start, somehow able to run at normal speed, and although the group wonders what may have happened, and Rankan contributes excess energy to the training, the sloth soon passes out as it turns out she has a cold, and the increase in her pace cardiac made it faster, temporarily not being able to participate. My Rain and the rest of the team decide to win in his honor despite his will. The cooking club loses all the tests in the morning in layers to compete with other species, especially with the leader chimpanzee, the tricky belly, who is able to use tools in the afternoon as they are short on caboodjan limbs, lets the donkeys join her team, and they easily win this a foot race up a snowy mountain. After inspiring the donkeys by reminding them how Napoleon cruises the fish riding a donkey thing, that in this world if there is a fight, and the donkeys were donkeys, not what a role with surprisingly the arm wrestling against the gorillas due to their powerful koala grip wins the endurance race, since the humans have the most stamina of all mammals. Chimpanzees drug Agitomi before she can compete in the swim race, so Mayubi takes her place as sloths can swim. Miyuki takes the lead until she panatoterizes a boat, nearly drowning her. All the public begins to cheer for Mayubi, and she manages to finish the race before fainting. She starts running the last race through a jungle, and wins after giving Pan a lesson by threatening her so that she never dares to hurt another member of the club. Cooking, the cooking club comes in first place, and wins field day by deciding to let the donkeys use part of their club room as a thank you for their help. The Anda girl named May is sent to sit with her manager, a red Anda named Foam, that apparently they have quite similar names, while May explored a depressed school who, as CEO, gets along very well with another impala, which makes him very sad, disguises himself using stolen hair from King's new mane, and after smelling a scent very tempting to visit the cooking club, grotesquely eats all the dumplings that Jean has made, and then reveals that she is the new student. And all the students are amazed to meet the new star of the school. However, Jean is immune. His charms impresses us, and she had never been treated like this meme, and she feels ashamed and confused. Savannah Yukari Mayubi, and starts to be let in, but Jean continues treating her like a brat, insisting that she cook and clean herself. She tries to clean up the meme mess, but Jean tells her he says that each one cleans up his own, and although he warns her that treating a Anda badly is a capital offense in his country, Jean replies that they are no longer in China, and things are going to be different. Meme realizes that he secretly enjoys the deal that gives Jim looking for a way to expel the P, and Jean decides that he needs the permission of all members of the club, including Kurumi, who like a cat reacts negatively to strangers so that Kurumi feels comfortable. Jinner closes Meme in a cage, something that also she secretly enjoys, stubbornly insists on staying until Kurumi accepts her. The next day she wakes up, discovers that they have given her a blanket and one of the naked rats on the floor, which is a gift from the cat Yugo, and to her the rat returns to her living room, and to the P Anda is accepted in the group, although Kurumi, being a cat, takes turns being very affectionate to her and totally ignoring her. But the other members of the club explain that she is like that. Orana explains that Meme must lick the pack leader's mouth to join the group. Meme licks their having confused him as the dominant macho, and then they get angry when her mistake is explained to her. All the girls go to the hot springs, the blanket. Meanwhile, freshly shaved King gets jealous after seeing her becoming more and more affectionate with the boy in corduroy. Later, Elena has no idea how to act like a woman, and decides to learn how to throw out Egyptomia, who she considers the best example of femininity in the shooting school. Anamitsu, a little honey badger girl, wants to join Ferial's herd. Later that La Loba will rescue her from some Broncans, but rejected because she is the only female that Ferei accepts. That way Shot decides to defeat Aranka to prove his worth, but when he goes to face the series he would be chasing a background. Elena tries to imitate Hitomi but ends up appearing even more masculine to the cooking club, where she explains everything related to her. Yukari suggests agitomics, that she act like Lena, but somehow it is very stimulating, but it seems, and demons Arancia that fight with her, and is thrown out by that spear against the wall. However, the boy badger appears to be uninjured, temporarily turns female but reverts to her old self after being embarrassed by her unladylike digestive progress, but tries to fight, starts up again, but suddenly the Leon boys start bullying her and beat her for no reason, only to find out that her honey badger honey makes her invulnerable. To Woon's tired of not being herself, Leona embraces her masculine personality again, and defeats at the ends of the lions. Ranka refuses to fight, so she comes to challenge Teruel. Uses the money her body produces by defeating accidentally starts in the process. Seeing that her sister is in trouble, Fairy hits Peru because of Herrera starts, and Taro decides she likes it after feeling pain for the first time, and asks again to be part of her group. Fariel refuses, but seeing how her little sister, he is glad that he has invited some wolves to his pack. Farrell let Terrace stay to keep start happy. Lena is happier as her old self, and returns home telling her father and brother that from now on she is a male thing that the two hyenas accept without hesitation. However, their new closeness got jealous, and I get it in her for the removal from me. Meanwhile, who protects access from the boys? What was afraid of relating to three species, who confuses this with a single invitation to receive a kick in the face. Since Shio is not yet in heat, Jean's class is sent on a trip to Sentency Academy. A beluga whale girl fails to put on an impressive homecoming show, and hey, I mean, all good with that series. I have seen worse, but they could have made the girl a bit plump. That is, she is a whale, but she is not another beautiful girl. She has to clarify that she is a whale because this series has already established its feminine standards a while ago. Stark and Mamie, they find out that Kanna wants to join them. Idols at school. A herd of girls. Dolphin B, Ando Ruka, the leader of the swimming dolphins, since they are slower than dolphins, and no matter how hard he tried, there is no way he could synchronize without her. Quality of the show suffers in the process. Jean tells Kana uniform a Kanto show since belugas are great vocalists. Unfortunately, Kana is a terrible singer, so back to box 1 that night. Jean's accosted by Ruka, which is due to the dolphins' unusual sleep patterns. Altered two personalities. One of them tearfully asks her to tell her she wants to quit since a mixed species show is impossible and would only humiliate her in front of everyone, so she doesn't want to since she appreciates the whale. Her other personality takes control, and demands that Jim prevent Kana from participating in the baths if he will not. Regretted. Jean feels scared by a giraffe boy who is interested in him, since in many cases male giraffes punctuate with other males, and even giraffes he has set his eyes on. Our Sprout. While Jean returns home after having freed himself from the giraffe's jalafia, we assume of course he crosses paths with Ranka, and wins that they talk just like Rakana. He is worried that the separate species cannot swim together, but Raka trusts that Jin's idea of singing will work, as he got the girls from the cooking club to work together. Feeling guilty that Kanan has been trying to sing with his mouth, but the warts actually sing using a special nasal cavity on top of their heads. Wins, and the cooking club puts on a show, and Anna gets to sing a beautiful song that echoes in the rockhead's nasal cavity, which makes her realize that the emotional part of her brain wants to help even more of the girls. Two rock personalities come together and decide she wants to dance. She and the other dolphins join the show with Kara running them. The show is a success, and Kanna is invited to join the swim club later. The chance to confess to Hidemi, but is interrupted by who chases him on the beach in the most terrifying scene of the series. If we start to think what will happen if he catches me, I am known by the nervous girl named Manako Kagami, who, when she sees her, violently hits her head over and over again until she faints. Jean says this is normal at these series since his species hits their heads to death when you're stressed. When Meme asks what's messy about her, and Jean replies that everything at the P&A is stressful, and he understands the third party for wanting to die every time she sees her. Meme, and she doesn't want to accept that her presence is stressful, and she ends up making friends that makes her so happy that she tries to kill herself again, since that's the only way she knows how to deal with her emotions, be they positive or negative, but is stopped by Miyuki. Tells her that instead of what she looks at, this is the last mistake that stays, but this I have had. By Miyuki tells her to overcome her instincts. Chiho tells Kim that because she is in heat, but even though she is willing to be with him, she insists that you meet her parents. Mickey considers retiring as president of the council a triumph, and ties up the basement of the school, forcing the species that live in the tunnels to share roosts with the ones on the surface, which annoys Jane greatly, who every once in a while remembers that she hates animals. Jaitamami's new roommate is Hoshino Hana, a mole girl. While Miga turns Jin's room into his office, she asks if he wants to replace her since she can cooperate with several species. China begins to imagine what it could be like being able to get rid of all the animals, and turn the institute into a human-only establishment where the Hitomis are happy. However, All of this tells her out loud for what Mickey withdraws his offer from the table later. All the students of the school have problems, and go to Mickey, who takes care of them in his room, solving each of their concerns. Jean points out that Mickey works with more species, which means that he also forms friendships between. Realizing that he is right, Mickey is so happy that she takes off everything including her underwear just as they arrive at the cooking club. Mickey, Clara the misunderstood, ending with the girls who strip naked, so Mickey is more comfortable. After the typhoon, a new girl predator Exenton arrives, and immediately perceives the presence of a human. Back to the subplot of whom her son's parents decide to trust whom, but only if he practices in the Impala tournament. The new girl Anna visits the cooking club, and witnesses how Jin Zalbaranka, who is in her reproductive cycle, driving all the canine males mad with lust. She doesn't hit all the dogs with a stone spear. The Grekiana cooking club is human, and Jatoma is glad to be with Aranka in her room just to indulge, realizing that being in means that Aranka is also crazy about, so she was throwing at him if he rejects Aranka, claiming that he hates her, making her cry later on that she is interested in him, which she interprets as a confession to her while spending time having a large amount of meat. A depressed Aranka ends her cycle of jealousy and tells Anna that she has problems with her human boyfriend, advises her to leave him since humans have caused the extinction of many Aranka species, decides to confront Jim while Anna waits for them to argue and the herd undone. However, when she starts confronting Jean, she admits that humans are cruel liars, which means she was lying when she said she hated her. Where the cooking club back to normal, Anna angrily returns to her original school, Darwin Academy, and to his team, the Alliance of Extinct Species Optimex, formed by several supposedly extinct species that seek the complete destruction of human reason. When asked by their leader if he has what it takes to walk, he assures that he can extinguish humans. Meanwhile, King competes for the Impala throne, invents the father of his son, who is convinced that he is a worthy son-in-law. However, lions go crazy, and both the father and the mother of his son leave out, who, after learning that he plans to get lost with a sign as soon as possible. The rest of the former team arrives on festival. Barry Atlas, the lion boy from the barbershop, Yang Yang, the river dolphin girl, China as Dorsaki, whatever, the Bakamarina boy from Stayer, and a certain Ando Andrew, the Androward boy. I don't know what that is. With the aim of ending humanity, Anna feels that his team has arrived, and since he doesn't want Jatoma to get hurt, the Nokia, and he tries to take it, but Leona intercepts her and fights against her. Orishimi is distracted by the festival games. I'm with a Teru sheath with a human, and attacks her only to receive a beating from Feral for wanting to hurt his little badger companion, and he enjoys it. Cheka dolphins have no sense of joy, just to organize when I wanted, and he says that rabbit experiments, and he is also knocked out. Babari captures Jim and almost kills him, but King and Shijo rescue him, but who defeats him after Jean distracts him by pointing out that barbershop lions are not really extinct. Our heroes interrogate Babari and realize that Jaitamami is in danger, and they look for her. Anna tells Elena that she wants revenge on humanity for having paid special attention to the problem, destroyed his spear with its powerful rangy jaw, arrives, and with an apple that he retires, or batting it, and being able to say that he is sorry for his actions, having then faith that he will do the right thing. After a woolly mammoth that Anna identifies how the head of the X-team reproaches and for going soft, and appears with leaps and bounds when she realizes that Anna is an Eniatral, not a Neanderthal human, or how the huge woolly love was an illusion of the true head of the Team X. It's Komodo man, a tiny mammoth girl. What we're actually looking at was her, menacing now despite her size. Komodo is incredibly strong, and effortlessly punches King and Lena, immediately knocking them out, temporarily spilling Shihoya's bag of marbles that the elephants they avoid stepping on small objects. And then he proposes to fight Quiramoto. He starts in a boxing match. I want Motocepta. He keeps as ready, offering to release them if he loses, but he can take revenge since he is a zebra, so he measures striped uniform. He has already started before avoiding Kitamoto's blows to reach her, but any Kiramoto hit will cause serious damage due to its immense that humans are not as evil as they breed. But she refuses to listen, but exceeds the count of 10. Jinta cheers to Arankart, cheering her up and giving her energy back, while Anna gives her Quiramoto, says that they are no longer friends. Depressing her, Nokia starts a demoralized Kinamoto Washima, who, after having fun in the attractions, remembers their mission and tries to attack them but slips on the marbles and is good at combat. Afterwards, Team X reconciles with everyone and prepares a meal with the club, and talks with Anna, telling her that she too at first believing that she would never deliver with the rest of her friends, but when she sees the relationship between Agino and Renka, realizes that they can all be friends. Anna is happy, but when Eliana interrupts her conversation with Jitome, she becomes jealous. Later the cooking club finds out who was beaten, and tells the chain that the academy is being attacked by giant sex students, and it's interesting with this cliff ends.